from PRX.
Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for the podcaster who's here to say, welcome, bakers. Come on in. This is a big tent for a lot of bakers, even if you don't bake. Or it makes me laugh because now I'm thinking of people that listen to the show at 4:20 p.m. and 4:20 a.m. somewhere who takes it on a totally different connotation, even though I don't, but that's cool. Like, I hear from you. I see you, and I smile with you and for you. And maybe I'll say something that'll make you giggle, but it'll have to be unintentional, because if I try to make you giggle, I say giggly, giggly, goo. Maybe that would make you giggle, or anybody listening. Welcome, bakers. Giggly, 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 goo. I can't even say those words. But if you're new and if you're welcome, this is Sleep With Me. It's a podcast that puts you to sleep, but I've been making it for a long time. When I first said that there wasn't anything else out there like this, but now there's a lot of stuff like this. But that's a miss. This is a podcast that keeps you company while you fall asleep. Welcome to Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. We do it with the bedtime story. I probably said that like thousands of times between making the show and other stuff. But, yeah, I'm really here to keep you company like a friend in the deep dark night and just talk to you and ramble on and on and on. So tonight I'll talk about nothing for a while and introduce the podcast. And then we'll talk about the Great British Bake Off, an episode of the Great British Bake Off. Imagine if your friend told you, they said, what'd you watch tonight? Great British Bake Off. What episode? I don't know if I remember. Okay. What season? I don't know if they call it it has a different title, because in the U.S., they had to change their title, and so they have different seasons and collections, and yeah, I think I don't know if that's what iterations are, but I'd say there's different iterations of the show. Okay, could you tell me what iteration? Well, I could give you a clue to what iteration it is. It's the first season Matt Lucas was on. Okay, that doesn't help. Oh, but don't worry, I'm going to talk about it, and you could fall asleep. That's the whole thing. I'm just going to tell you, it'll be mostly people looking in their ovens and me wondering about things I don't know anything about. Okay, so you don't even have to listen to me. You could barely pay any attention. So that's kind of what the podcast is like. If you were to call someone and have that conversation. But that'd have to be a pretty good friend, right? I do it for you twice a week or sometimes 3 times a week with the extras so that you could fall asleep, but less so that you could feel whatever it is in the deep, dark night. Loneliness is the word I use, but that doesn't quite it's not quite accurate. So, yeah, I'm here to keep you company and ease your discomfort in the deep, dark night. This show is very different. It takes some getting used to, so just see how it goes. But what's going to happen is we got support so that paying for the podcast is optional. Then a long, meandering intro meant to ease you into bedtime. And then later on, I'll talk about the Great British Bake Off. I think it's Chocolate Week, but I'm not exactly sure, honestly. Mocha, if it's not Chocolate Week, I think I already did Bread Week. I don't know. Yeah, my dough is unproven, as they say, and I'm a non-enriched, unproven dough. So, I mean, it works to put people to sleep. So, yeah, I'm glad you're here. If you're new, just give the show a few tries. If you're like, I thought this was a sleep podcast. This doesn't seem to be very sleepy. I say, well, it's more, I don't know how to describe it. It does get sleepy. So, yeah, just see how it goes. I'm glad you're here. And these are a couple ways where we get to do it for you. Sleep With Me podcast is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are the things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Visit progressive.com to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations. All right, everybody, it's time to talk about tonight's sponsor, Quint. And, we're moving from winter to spring, and things are heating up. And, for me, I can't stand being hot in bed. And that's why I'm so happy about this partnership with Quint. They have so many amazing bedding options. They have their breathable European linen bedding collection and that luxury percale cotton, as well as a bunch of more amazing options. So it's time to ditch those heavy, scratchy sheets. Quint's sheets are soft, luxurious, and breathable. They use high-quality materials like 100% European flax linen and organic cotton to give that 5-star hotel feel. And the same goes for their ultra-plush duvets, quilts, pillows, and shams, too. Quint's has everything you need to level up your bed. And the best part is, like Quint's clothing, their bedding is priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. By partnering with top artisans, Quint cuts out the cost to the middle person and passes the savings on to us. And Quint only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes. I've been using the classic organic percale sheets, and they are so crisp and breathable. But I'm also excited to check out this breathable European linen, too. Holy cow, that sounds amazing, especially with summer coming up. And then my daughter has the buttery soft bamboo sheet sets. So you got to check Quint's out. Transition your bed for the season with soft, breathable bedding from Quint's. Go to quints.com/sleep to get free shipping and 365-day returns on your next order. That's Quints, QUINCE.com/sleep to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quints.com/sleep. Get over there and let me know about it. Thanks, everybody. Hey, everybody, it's Scoots here, and I wanted to get in touch with you. If this podcast makes your life better, if it's a part of your life, if you listen most nights, like 4, 5, 6 nights a week, you listen all night long, you've listened to the show for years, or it's clearly changed your life. If Sleep With Me has had a positive impact on your days and your nights, you're probably what we call a super listener. And over the next 4 months, we're trying to get 1,500 of about 20,000 super listeners to support the show directly on Sleep With Me Plus. And you don't have to, right? You can choose not to, or you can replace Sleep With Me with something else. Or maybe you're just not in a position to support the show. You're a super listener, but you need the podcast, but you can't support it directly. Then this message isn't for you. It's just for you that is listening right now and hearing what I'm saying. Like, you're one of the people we're counting on, and you could sign up right now. You could guarantee Sleep With Me is going to be here for the rest of the year and for the next 4 years. In the times people need Sleep With Me the most, people just like you, whether they're a super listener like you or they're just having a really tough time right now and they just need the show for the next couple weeks. You get to help those people, and you get a ton of great content, ad-free episodes, story-only episodes, all the other great stuff. And you could try it out with the trial at sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. Thanks so much. Oh, Mystery Bart, a lot of people help out on the show. Who are they?
Chris Posty Poster Son sounds like an earful. Wrote the theme song. Carl W. the Legend. Ashley, Kenny, Scotty, Jennifer. Eric and the team at Astound are on the website. I am the Mystery Bart. I do the lullabies, yeah. I do commissions at jonathanmann.net. I'll write a song for you. Any reason at all. You can tell me the story and I'll make it personal. You see the kindness and support the sponsors. You can find anything you want at sleepwithmepodcast.com. And we're so proud that we could dance. Rusty Biscuit, Lois, Anna like banana. Leah does the transcripts.
Thanks, Mystery Bard. And don't forget, the most comfortable way to listen to Sleep With Me is with sleep phones. You can get Sleep With Me merch, Sleep With Me branded sleep phones at sleepwithmepodcast.com/sleep-phones, and use Sleep With Me at checkout to get $5 off your order. The only way you can get the Sleep With Me merch editions is sleepwithmepodcast.com/sleep-phones. Thanks, everybody. What do you say we slow it down and get on with the show? Hey, are you up all night tossing, turning, mind racing, trouble getting to sleep, trouble staying asleep? Well, welcome. This is Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. We do it with a bedtime story. All you need to do is get in bed, turn out the lights, and press play. I'm going to do the rest. What I'm going to attempt to do is create a safe place where you can set aside whatever is keeping you awake, whether that's thoughts on your mind, the things you're thinking about. Thoughts that are keeping you up. It could be feelings, anything emotionally coming up for you that's keeping you awake or left over or anticipating. It could be physical sensations, changes in time, temperature, routine, work schedule, travel, guests, a lot of different things. You'd be going through something, getting over something, in the middle of something. Whatever it is, I'm here to keep you company and take your mind off of it. And the only reason I kind of remind you is because there's something below that reminder that's very important, and that's in a safe, indirect way, I see where you're at, and I feel for you. And one of the reasons I can do that is because I've been there. Oh, boy, have I. And kind of at every phase of my life, and in different ways. So I know what it's like for me in a bunch of different situations, sharing a bed with somebody, sharing a room with somebody, sharing an apartment with somebody, my dog in the room, a house full of family members, in the middle of stuff, anticipating stuff, getting over stuff. I know what it's like for me. And I know what it's like to dread bedtime, days ahead of time, right? You start dreading Monday on a Saturday morning. So whatever it is that you're dealing with, I might not have been through the same thing. I might not, you may say, no, you can't identify with what I feel, but I can see that you're here. And I'm glad you're here, and I hope I can help you. And there's other people listening who are really pulling for you, including people that have been through what you've been through or something similar who can really relate. And this is like where there is real empathy and compassion, even though this is digital and indirect and pseudo. There is a reality to this. There is someone listening who cares for you because they've been in, and you say, well, they don't know. You say, well, they've been in that spot too, and they know what it's like. And so the idea of someone else out there being in that spot, that's where their empathy and compassion is coming from. And they're also hoping, man, this podcast relieved some of that for me. I never knew a boring friend that talks about barely anything could help me, but it did. So I really hope it can help you. And it may or may not do that, but that person is hoping it for you. And they're hoping that you get the positive feeling one day that they're having right now. They're experiencing it right now. I don't know if you can feel it. I can as a maker of the show but I have the advantage of been doing this. And I've heard a lot of stories, but they hope you get that good feeling one day that they're feeling right now of welcoming somebody in. Even though it's digital, even though it's indirect, even though it's whatever, it's still real. And the real part is you. If you're hurting or whatever, however you want to describe it, I hope I can help you. And you deserve a bedtime where you could get the sleep and the rest you need that you deserve as a person. and that for whatever reason, it's not like for those of us dealing with this, it just doesn't come naturally. And obviously working at it doesn't help either. So I don't know. I want you to get the sleep you need so that you don't have to dread bedtime. You could look forward to it or maybe feel neutral about it. Well, at least I got that guy rambling on and on about nothing. Scoots, he's better than nothing. I mean, that's like the highest compliment. That's the only reason I'm laughing is because it's like, yeah, you're better than nothing, man. I say, oh boy, thank you. Like, really hits me hard. Man, when you you're really, and I say, I know because I've been in the middle of nothing. I know what that feels like. It's the loudest nothing you'll ever hear. Right. So you deserve a bedtime where you could get the rest you need or a little bit of relief. And so that tomorrow you're rested and your life is more manageable. And maybe if this sleep podcast or something else I introduce you to helps you get the rest you need on a regular basis, you could be out there flourishing in the world. And that means our world's a better place because your world's a better place. And again, that's one of those things that just because it's a podcast or whatever, it doesn't change the fact that it's true. Or that you're listening to this years after I make it or whatever. It doesn't change that fact. So, yeah, that's why I make the show. The way it works is I send my voice across the deep, dark night. I use lulling, soothing, creaky, dulcet tones, pointless meanders, and superfluous tangents. I go off topic. I get mixed up. I repeat a lot of stuff. I say words that I don't know the meaning to. I double back. I don't know. Pointless meanders. It's not like a traditionally what you'd expect to be something calming or meditative. Because it's not. It's just a friend telling you stories and talking to you. Or it's like something you put on that's entertaining for some people, but not entertaining for you. That you can listen to that's just a mild distraction. That's all I am, mild distraction. I think that there's some soaps you could buy that say they're mild soaps. And rarely is that term it's used in soaps. It's a mild soap. Does that mean I'm mildly washed? I mean, I know what it means. Well, actually, I don't know what it means because there's unscented. But what is I guess mild, that's a pretty good marketing term, not thinking about it. Talk about a good marketing term. I don't know if Don Draper came up with that one. It's like, it's a regular soap. We're just going to call it mild soap. What does it mean? Could mean whatever the person thinks it means. Well, that's brilliant, Don. But really, to me, a mild, I'd say, does that mean a mildly, what would you think of your date with Scooter? Well, he's mildly interesting. He smelled mildly. That's so that's why he didn't get a second date. You don't want to ever smell mildly. I think that's just like one of those things. I don't know how many people use that term, right? How do you smell? Mild. Okay, well, that's not that's probably not you're better off on either side of that scale. Also mildly cleansed. You'd say, I mean, I guess it's kind of good. You say, oh boy, it's good for my body's oils. I'm only mildly cleansed. I'm covered in natural oil. I mean, right now my hair is, but it's because I need a haircut, or trim. But I don't know. I just never thought about that. I'm sure somebody funny did a bit about it, but it's like mild soap. I mean, maybe I'm just imagining maybe I'm combining two products. But I realize this, but it doesn't smell too strong, not too soapy. But you say, okay, what do you mean it's not too soapy? I'm looking for is there a situation where I would intentionally, if I knew what mild, I'd say if I used a different word, I'd probably say, okay, but this just seems like a generic term used to sell soap. Now that I'm overanalyzing it in the middle of a pointless meander where I'm supposed to be introducing a sleep podcast, but I'd say you're not going. I don't think you're going to say, yeah, this soap has mild cleansing properties. You'll be mildly scented, and you'll be ready for if you've had a mild workout or a mild day. Mild. I guess most soaps have 4-letter words. How come there's no soap mild? It's a soap that's mild. And if you want to smile. Smiled. Why he smiled? Because he's washed with mild. I mean, here's the thing, and I'll just get off this tangent after this. I'm big. I've only had 2 outdoor shower. I mean, not 2 in my life, but I had. If you ever listen to this podcast a lot, like a couple times where I was at places that had outdoor showers, not fancy ones. But they were plumbed. Was that plumbed? They had plumbing. But outdoor showers, that would be a good place for mild soap, I think. When I shower outdoors, I use mild. You'd say, yeah, it's because maybe it's going on the ground. Yeah, I mean, there's a good use case. So don't come after me, soap companies. Because now I've, given you some free marketing. Show somebody out in the showering outdoors. I mean, especially the one from my childhood, my archetypal outdoor shower. I believe it had a dirt and grass, and I don't know if they had an indoor shower, but I just remember showering outdoors. And then when I shower outdoors, I shower with mild. Okay, so that was a pointless meander and a superfluous tangent. I don't even know where it came from. But I'm supposed to be mildly entertaining, so you could barely listen to me versus a normal podcast or something you're watching intently. This is something that's just in the background to keep you company. And what else? It's a podcast you don't really listen to. No, I think I said that. It's a podcast. Most people don't like your show, or at least I believe that. You see, you just did a 5-minute bit about mild soap. And I'd say, yeah, it was mildly sensible, was it not? Does it float? Does mild soap float? No, it bobs. It does bob. But yeah, it takes some getting used to for this show, because if you got here, you're probably skeptical, you're doubtful, you're frustrated because you tried a bunch of other stuff to fall asleep. So just give the show 2 or 3 tries before you give up on it. Because that's what it just takes to get used to realize, this is intentional, what he's doing. He's really here to just talk and keep me company and take my mind off of stuff. Now, if you discover this show is not for you, I have a website set up, sleepwithmepodcast.com/no thank you. Has other sleep podcasts and sleepy stuff on there, so you could find something that works for you. So try those out. This also, even though I've been making this sleep podcast for a long time, this podcast isn't meant to put you to sleep. It's meant to keep you company while you fall asleep. I'm here to be your boar friend, your boar bae, your boar sib, your neighbor, your boar bestie, your boar burr, your boar bee, your boar loft, your chairman of the board, your boar sib, your boar cuz, your boar bruh. Your best boyfriend forever. There's no pressure to fall asleep. I'm here over an hour, so you don't got to think about when you're falling asleep. There's people who are listening who can't sleep at all. So I'm here to the very end, whether you're awake or asleep, or if you can't sleep at all, or you need a break during the day. I'm here so that you don't have to listen to me, but you could listen to me. The other thing to run through is the structure. The show also throws new people off. And the show's very adaptable. Podcasts in general are very adaptable, but I make the show to benefit the most people it can, but then you can adjust from there. So most people listen to this show, this ad-supported version, linearly. But that doesn't mean because most people do it, you need to do it that way. But if you're new, just try it this way at first and then see how it goes. So show starts off with a greeting, so you feel seen and welcomed. Then you say, okay, I might check that podcast out. He tried to be funny. And it seemed, he seemed mild enough. So had a mild reaction. I mean, most people do not have a mild reaction to the show. That's what's funny. Oh boy, do they not. They either most people or not. Well, maybe most people do. But the people that don't have a mild reaction, oh boy, don't read those emails. So the show starts off with a greeting. So you see, okay, I could check this show out. Then there's support. So paying for the podcast is optional, right? You say, okay, I prefer some of the not ads. You can get that in Sleep With Me Plus. I prefer only stories without ads. So you can get that in Sleep With Me Plus. I prefer this style episode. Yeah. But for most people, listen, realizing the ads, keep it going. That works for them. Then after the support is a long, meandering intro. It's about 20 minutes long, where I unsuccessfully try to explain what the podcast is. And I think even after doing it thousands, or maybe, I don't think I've gotten to 2,000 intros yet, but 1,500 times maybe. I don't know if mild soap has come up. It probably has in some way. But yeah, just never know what's going to come up. So the show follows the same structure every time. But every intro is different. It'd be way easier for me to just put out the same intro or do a 2-minute intro. But the intro for most listeners, again, not right for everybody, but for most people, it eases them into bedtime instead of putting them to sleep. It gives you a buffer or a wind down. While there is a percentage of people that are asleep, there's a lot of people who are getting comfortable, winding down, or getting ready for bed, doing a chill activity, coloring in a coloring book or something. And, that's just what's been shown to work. What works for me personally is winding down. We also have, if you say, I don't like these intros, Bedtime Stories from Sleep With Me is a separate podcast. Comes out twice a week with just stories from the show. And that's in any podcast app you need, or you need. That's the intro. It goes on and on and on to ease you into bedtime. Then there's support. Then there'll be our coverage of the Great British Bake Off. That's about it. I'm really glad you're here to enjoy my mildness. I don't even know. Sometimes, I think, I just wonder what a mild, I guess it could be, I'm just analyzing mild smelling. Because if you're mild smelling, you had no smell. I didn't notice a smell. That's different than mild. But I guess mild, the soaps that are called mild, no offense, but they have a very distinct smell. So I guess I will be hearing from these soap companies in a positive way. So, this isn't against soap companies. I'm just saying, my mind is boggled by this mild soap thing. I never thought about it before. I've heard of dishwasher or I hand wash my dishes, right? Mild on the hands. I've heard that said before in a commercial. So I don't know. Maybe that's where it got. But anyway, I'm really glad you're here. I work really hard. Believe it or not, a bunch of people work on the show because we want to help you fall asleep, or introduce you to something else that will, or just keep you company and maybe put a mild smile on your face. For real, that's really my job. And it really would be a yearn and strive to help you fall asleep, but really that's a big goal, right? I just want to keep you company and barely entertain you. Say, okay, I half smiled at some of the stuff he said, so it made my life a tiny bit better. That gives my life meaning, really. So I'm really glad you're here, and I do work really hard. Thanks again for coming by. And here's a couple ways we're able to do it for you regularly. Thanks. Hey, everybody, it's Scoots here, and I wanted to get in touch with you. If this podcast makes your life better, if it's a part of your life, if you listen most nights, like 4, 5, 6 nights a week, you listen all night long, you've listened to the show for years, or it's clearly changed your life. If Sleep With Me has had a positive impact on your days and your nights, you're probably what we call a super listener. And over the next 4 months, we're trying to get 1,500 of about 20,000 super listeners to support the show directly on Sleep With Me Plus. And you don't have to, right? You can choose not to, or you can replace Sleep With Me with something else. Or maybe you're just not in a position to support the show. You're a super listener, but you need the podcast, but you can't support it directly. Then this message isn't for you. It's just for you that is listening right now and hearing what I'm saying. Like, you're one of the people we're counting on, and you could sign up right now. You could guarantee Sleep With Me is going to be here for the rest of the year and for the next 4 years. In the times people need Sleep With Me the most, people just like you, whether they're a super listener like you or they're just having a really tough time right now and they just need the show for the next couple weeks. You get to help those people, and you get a ton of great content, ad-free episodes, story-only episodes, all the other great stuff. And you could try it out with the trial at sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. Thanks so much. All right, everybody, it's time for Great British Bake Off, episode collection 8. Not sure of the series or the season, sorry. Episode 4, Chocolate Week. And pressing play, it starts off with Matt and Noel. Matt's acting very childish, and I already missed it because he wasn't paying close enough attention. He says, I love chocolate. Noel has on quite a shirt, probably from some famous designer, but I don't know whom. It's Chocolate Week. Are you chocolate a man, Noel? No, I'm an actual man. Oh, that's a funny one. So, is that absurdist humor? He says, are you chocolate man? No, I'm an actual man. Meaning, you know what I mean. So Chocolate Week, then we get a little preview, rain, umbrellas, plain coats, cobalt, I don't know what that says, talking heads, chocolate talk, the old chocolate talk, talk to me about chocolate talk, and some people like chocolate, other people do not, some people are laughing. And yeah, it looks like a cool rainy morning, clear umbrellas, actually raining, depending on who's talking head, it's raining. But it's going to be warm in that tent. You know that. We all know that at least. Oh boy, I just noticed Prue's necklace is like a poppin' yellow. She actually matches everybody. I don't know how she pulls that off. And she does have a matching, what are those things go on your wrist called? Is that a bangle? Oh, the signature bake is going to be brownies. And this is fudgy, hour and 30 minutes. Middle, better make them simple, middle gooey. So that don't overcook it. Just 90 minutes to produce a perfect batch. Timing is important. And that's not easy, an hour and a half. Bruce says gooey center, crackly, crisp top too, and that's it. And the bake on the brownies, what Paul says. Otherwise, if you overbake, it'll be cake-like. And this is a brownie. And icings are sweet, but extra chocolate, chocolate is sweet too. Don't over-decorate the top. Go back to basics. Paul says, if you can't produce a decent brownie, no good. So we get Christmas brownies first. Prue, great lipstick and glasses too also. And this is Linda, Turkish delights, and other things, dried fruit. So I said, I'm not sure I'm interested in that. Matt is, though. And he stirs a little chocolate. Then we have Mark with a C, roasted macadamia. And he says, this is my favorite thing, praline brownies, praline buttercream, praline. And they're talking about dreams. He actually gives Noel a hard time about his after night, like, walking, which I thought was funny. Perfect gooey center, brownie mix, it's all about the ratios. Who's this? Purple calculator. No phones in the tent. Oh, this is, what's the guy's name? I can't remember his name. Paul, maybe? But yeah, you have to have a calculator because you can't bring your phone in there. So that's interesting. And he says, well, what if, Matt's making jokes. Honeycomb popping candy brownie. So that's, no, it's not, I don't know. It's been a big thing the last 5 years, putting popping candy in things. And I say, popping candy's good on its own, man. I don't need any shakes or brownies or, I don't know. I mean, plus popping candy tends to be fruit flavored, which, I think limits, I don't want any fruit flavors in my creamy stuff, or my baked stuff or my frosting stuff. Also get some figs. Who's this? Figs on top of brownies. Noel's never made brownies before. He's never baked before. Like ever? Never. He says baking's for bakers. He says, Sura makes her own brownies a lot for her husband. So she's making double chocolate marshmallow brownie with some ruby chocolate and Italian meringue. Now, those are things that sound like I would like on a brownie. I'm not I mean, of all the chocolatey desserts, I think brownies a la mode would be my thing just because they have, I don't know, like that balance, like a vanilla ice cream. I don't know. That's just my preference. 25 minutes. That's what Lottie says. Have your cake and eat it too. Chocolate and pecan, baked raspberry cheesecake, and a lot of work. Can I get it done? I think you could tell where this is headed, this particular challenge. Hermine's going to do raspberry, white chocolate, pistachio. And 10 minutes on one side, 10 minutes double baked, maybe 10 minutes to 10 minutes and 20. And Paul gives a tip. He says, by the way, you're going to take it out of the oven. You're going to put it back in the oven. And the oven won't go back to temperature. So I don't know about that idea. Like the double bake. And she says, well, if Paul says not to do it, it's a tough decision. Then we're halfway through, 45 minutes, making meringues, toppings, blitzing. And you want it to enhance the flavor of your brownie. Chopped nuts, Turkish delight. Don't want it to be too sweet. Honeycomb. Is he making a honeycomb candy from scratch? Italian meringue, buttercream, Astura's making. Mark with a K. He's doing some sort of whipped, that's a meringue too. Yeah, there's a lot of s'mores action. His is give me s'more brownies, caramelized cranberries, marshmallows and biscuits. Usually Americans eat those. So he said, I'll make it into a brownie. And I think it's more of an American marketing thing. I'm honestly, I've like talked about s'mores a lot on this show. Laura's also doing salted caramel brownie s'mores. And I've tried making s'more alternatives. And still haven't, I don't know. S'mores, I just don't get it. I get the concept and the community aspect of it. But I tried what I thought would be best, not that I'm not talking about the show, but the cinnamon graham crackers. And I tried fudge rounds or some sort of Keebler Elf. Anyway, back to the show. Everybody's checking make sure they're getting their fudgy centers. Double cheesecake, raspberry, Italian meringue, brownie gods. People are in Dave's 33 minutes. Somebody else pulls it out, says, perfect, it's underbaked. Sura's like, I think mine are raw. That's Mark with a C. Looks good to me. Into the fridge, people are putting stuff. Oh, yeah, Sura's are still raw in the middle. Thicker they are, the longer they take to cook. Lottie still needs another 15 minutes. She's like, this is not going to be good. They have 15 minutes, number of minutes remaining. Half hour. Okay, well, but she's still got to cool it and top it and stuff. Sir's waiting with the oven. Noel's talking to her. And he says, by the way, like, you're my favorite, so I could, like, alter the rules for you. Now, Lottie has to put hers in the freezer, and she actually gets, like, the freezer defrost on her things, which kind of stinks for her. And kind of hoping, everybody's hoping there's our gooey on the inside. Let's check it out. It looks good on the inside. That looks like a good bake. Laura's are a bit underdone, but better be, I mean, I don't know, like, and Lottie's like, I'm pretty sure mine are not going to work out well, so I'm not feeling it. And she goes, man, these belong in the bin. Talking for blue eyes. That's what Noel says when we have to deal with Paul. 5 minutes left. So Noel's shirt is like some specific cartoon version of vegetables and fruits, I think. And I saw a lemon and a banana. I'm trying to work on my pronunciation just for Bake Off. And everybody's doing their toppings. It does look good. I mean, these bakers are good at making stuff. I think I'd probably say Laura's, like anything with frosting, but it's not a brownie, right? Your time is up. Put them at the end of your bench. No, everybody's like, this is not good. At least mine are gooey. And so a lot of looks of not happiness. And this time, 9 batches, brownies, scrutiny of Paul and Prue. Peter's up first, upside down brownie. They got the figs and some pistachios on top. Look good. Chewiness coming from the dates, Prue says. There's cinnamon, too much cinnamon, Paul says. Overtook the chocolate. It was risky, different, and it's okay. And Noel's, that's the word, that's bad. So it's disappointing. Everybody's encouraging each other between stops. Laura's up next. And it looks like they came out of the oven too early. But let's have a look, shall we? Too much Italian meringue. Too sweet. Far too sweet. The caramel and the meringue, enough now, and underbaked. A few problems here. Then Sura, okay, we had 2 trays, but 1 fell, so only have half. And Prue says very tough. Paul doesn't like the flavors. Prue does like the flavors. Dark chocolate, ruby, citrusy kick from maybe the ruby chocolate. Bake's not right. And you didn't do enough, not your best work. And everybody's commenting on how bad it's going for everybody. Then we have Mark. They look neat and identical. Cookie base, chocolate brownie, Italian meringue, cranberry. Tastes like a brownie, but I'm avoiding the top, Prue says. But overall, good job. Thank you. And then Paul says, base is too thick, man. Textures were wrong. Ermine, bit messy. Paul tastes, I like the raspberry city. Prue says, white chocolate's too much. A lot going on. Coffee, chocolate, too much, and a lot of sugar. Then they go to Linda. It's sponge-like, not brownie-like. See, chocolate sponge, but I like the flavor. It's unusual, nice. but it's a cake. They go to Dave, honeycomb, and well, it's more sponge-like than brownie, overbaked. Tastes great like the flavor, but there's two things that make a brownie, Prue says. Gooey middle, crackly top. You made a tray bake. And then moving on, they go to Mark with a C, or Mark, I don't know which Mark. Yeah, Mark with a C. Rush at the end, okay. Quiet, dry. Middle squidgy, though. That's nice. Flavors are okay. Does look a bit of a mess. That's a problem. Brownies are basic, man. If you can't bake a brownie right, and then Lottie's like, if that's what they said to you, holy moly. They don't look great. They look a mess. They look like they've been dropped. You got a straw? How about a spoon? Bruce says, I love the raspberry sharpness. Too much cheesecake mixture overpowers it. Flavor's okay. Looks terrible. But really, like, thanks, she says. And then the talking heads, everybody's like, if we just would have made brownies, would have been, how do we mess that up? Every person, no one did a brownie. Should have just made some brownies. We're the best bakers in the round. We get a zoom, like a sky shot. Okay, next one, shrouded in gingham. Complete mystery. But Noel spins when they come in the room, which is cool. Technical challenge. Set by Paul. Any words from advice? He says, well, the brownies were easy compared to this. Concentrate on your textures. And they're going to leave the tent and head out and deal with Belgian robots. And they say, okay, can you go? Prue's still taking her time. Okay. Now, Paul wants you to make a chocolate babka, traditional Jewish loaf cake. Babka has an enriched dough, nuts and chocolate. Needs to be rolled, split, and twisted to create a shape. Then baked with a syrup. You got 2.5 hours. On your mark, get set. Bake, everybody. And they say, okay, here we go. Never heard of this one. If brownies are simple, like, what are we even doing? Okay, so then Bruce says, Paul, why'd you pick this? He says, well, it's an enriched dough chocolate filling. It looks delicious. You roll it out like a rectangle, like a Chelsea bun. Spiral twist. You plate it. Don't make it too long because it's got to fit in the tin. And let's have a look inside. There it is. Soft on the inside, crisp on the outside. Gorgeous chocolate, hazelnuts, lighter than Prue expected. And they say, we got a New York beat or something like that. I say, wait a second. Instructions say make the dough. No further instructions. So an enriched dough is butter and milk and other stuff. I don't know, eggs. General dosage flour, yeast, and water. So you got to, get it moving, man. Stretch that dough. And, okay, we can do it. We'll do our best. But the dough's a bit wet. Trying to get the window pane. I've never attained a window pane. And it's got to be 40 by 30. Roll it out a flat thing. Then spread chocolate mixture on it. 1 centimeter at the edge, though. Don't forget that part. And Noel comments on Mark, his freedom of placing chocolate on the dough. You want to go streaking or something? I don't know. He says right in the tent. Then you scatter the hazelnuts. Then you roll the dough into a tight roll. Then you twist it. I don't know. People are already, then you split it. Then you twist it. It's kind of like Bop It or something, that game. Remember that game? Twist it. Bop it. And all right, then you got to put it in the tin. And it's got to fit in the tin, right? And so then you got to, some people's are too long, so you got to decide what you're going to do. And some people have extras. You got to be creative. Linda's like fits in there exactly. She high fives. Sirish just shortens hers and doubles hers over. That's smart. Lottie just leaves hers hanging out and says maybe it'll rearrange itself. So then you got to prove your dough. You know, you got to what do we got to prove it for? So it rises, man. That's what you got to prove it for. Prove it for as long as needed. What do you mean, right? So, yeah, then we get more outside shots. Okay, bakers, you're halfway through. People are cleaning their work areas, making small talk while the dough proves to rise or not to rise. That is the question. And people look bored, you know, no phones, no books, no nothing. So people are sitting on the floor. Noel and Ermine, he starts singing a song based on the recipe. Recipe is a word I have trouble spelling at all times. Okay, then who said, trying to explain what Matt is. She was like, we're talking, proving, has it doubled? No, but we don't got that much time left. Can I make it passable? Doubled in size, you know. This is not easy. So, okay, so everybody's working out. How long is it going to take? 25 minutes? Timer? 20 minutes? I don't know. Talk the ends under a lot, he says. It's all about that bake. And waiting, moving, bouncing, spinning stuff, looking in the oven, checking. Lottie's like, my ends are out. They're browned. Cut them off? I don't know. Matt uses his USA accent, which is pretty fun when he says to rise or not to rise. Like kind of like I don't know if he said that, but he uses this like kind of Coach USA style accent. Okay, double. Waiting's the worst. Linda's coming out, and Matt teaches her, talks to her about talking back. He's big on getting people to talk back to Paul, or imagining they would. And everybody's checking their rise. I mean, these don't look as bad as the brownies. Like even Lottie's looks pretty. I mean, I'd definitely eat it. Then you got to put some syrup glaze on it. So people are glazing it. Seamless. Your time is up. Bring your babkas, man. Don't forget your babka. Place them behind your photograph. Lottie says there's like a Viking longboat. Some are beautifully risen. That's what Paul and Prue are looking for with a gorgeous spiral. So they go to number one, who's Peter, maybe? Looks all right. Small. You can see the lines. Let's have a look inside. It even says when Paul grunts, swirl's good, but hasn't risen as much. Tender, but nice bake. Combination is chocolate and good. Number two is Lottie, sunk in the middle. Not the best looking babka. Few issues. Not overbaked though. Flavor's okay. It's just the way it's twisted that it's got it. Then it's Linda, I think. Looks good. Stripes are good. Good all around. Good height. Shine is good. Does it taste good? Excellent. Good flavor. Sura. Big issues with the plating. Small. Heavy. So she did trim hers, so maybe that's why. But a bit heavy. Moving on. Laura, I think. Looks like a babka. How much chocolate? It's a very cakey feel. Lovely. Paul. Oh, no. Who's that? Is that guy Paul? But it's dense. It's odd. And then one of the marks. A few holes in there. Nice sized loaf. Bit dry. Then Hermine. Not enough plating. It's on one side and the other side. Underproofed heavy. Tastes good. Then the other mark, mark with a K, I think, fairly open. Could do with being a bit more. Prue likes it. Tastes delicious. So we go from worst to first. Ninth is Lottie. Struggled a bit. Dave is the other guy. Eighth, Dave. A bit heavy. Sura seventh. Mark with a C6. Ermine fifth. Peter fourth. In third, Mark with a K. Neat, but could have been higher. Number 2 is Laura. Only thing wrong with this is it sank a little bit in the middle. Really nice babka. And the number 1 is Linda, right? Have you made one before? No, you did a very good job. Oh, she says it was the instructions. So roll's good. Well done. She's very cute. She makes this big face in her talking head moment. I'm very happy. Followed my instincts. There you go. And Laura's like, thanks, I needed that confidence boost. Sura's like, oh, this is not going good. So I really got to do it tomorrow. I don't know if the weather's going to be on our side. Then we go to the next day. The sun is already out, but people still have their jackets on. One challenge remains. Who will be Star Baker? And the judges come out. Showstopper challenge. The bakers do a spectacular white chocolate celebration cake with a particular celebration in mind. Matt says the first time you used the restroom, maybe. Well done, Paul. We're proud of you. Here's your gold star. Apparently you get a gold star the first time, and then you get book tokens. It's got to be minimum 2 layers, decorations, and you got to expertly use white chocolate in 4 hours. On your mark, it's set, bada go. Now, white chocolate's a crowd pleaser, but according to Peter, no, that's all. Mark likes it, but it's not easy. And Lottie's going to blitz it, but it's a gamble. Okay, so Paul says, yeah, it's got to be a white chocolate tiered cake. One of the challenges is that white chocolate's got to be in the sponge, which has a higher fat content. So you got to reduce the butter in the sponge without disrupting the texture. Prue says, yeah, white chocolate's not fun to work with. Splits it or seizes, but you'll have to work that out. Warm weather today, and you have to temper the chocolate or the ganaches before they melt. So it's going to be tough stuff. Hopefully the ambient temperature doesn't go above 20. Not everybody's a massive fan, even because it's so sweet, I guess. Maybe one note, Laura says. Hers is going to be Italian meringue, buttercream, blackcurrant jam, touch of romance, her 2-year wedding anniversary. And they talk about exciting, how'd you celebrate it while I was here, making brownies and getting rinsed by Paul Hollywood. So that's a phrase I don't think I'll remember to work it into my thing. Lottie's a celebration cake for Sapphire wedding anniversary of her grandparents. Sapphire geode effect, geode crystals, white chocolate thing on top. Lottie says, between 15 and 18 times I made this cake, so this is a tricky one for me. Bruce says, just don't be the worst. Then Paul says it too. And they say that really helps. And Noel, I think, says that. Matt says, okay, you got to really work on the sponge. Sura says, yeah, it's got to be light. Got to get that white chocolate to butter ratio down because of the high cocoa butter content. Too much chocolate and your cake will sink. So people are trying to figure out little or what. They go to Sura. How you feeling, Sura? Not your best day so far yesterday, huh? I'm optimistic, though. She's doing a strawberry white chocolate celebration cake, 36th anniversary, chocolate, pipe buttercream, ruffles, lemon strawberry jam. And she watered down her chocolate, tried to give it a looser texture without the heaviness. And they say good luck. So So Peter's going with chunks of chocolate in his cake. Hunk of chocolate in my cake. Chocolate studded sponges, mango curd, whipped cream for his brother's graduation, coconut yogurt, chantilly whipped cream. He graduated this year, didn't get a full ceremony, so we're celebrating through this cake. Too bad he can't eat it. Peter says, I already made him one when I was practicing. Ermine's doing a Genoese sponge. That's melted butter, but she's replacing the melted butter with white chocolate, like a wedding cake for my parents' wedding. Because I was there, I like saw pictures of it. Lemon and white chocolate collar, pipe ganache roses, lemon syrup, vanilla extract. Prue loves Genoese sponges. So it sounds like a nice combination of flavors. Paul says, thank you. The Max kind of saying, yeah, if Paul's not complimentary, what if you did Mark with a C? Why don't you take a cake and put it, like a pie? And then Mark says, why don't you do that, Matt? And then, so Mark's doing a 3-tier cake, white chocolate, raspberry, buttercream celebration, named after his daughter. Fondant flowers, but he said yesterday was not good. Cakes aren't my strong points. So, in my perspective, I'm not feeling great. Then Linda says, yeah, I got a lot riding on it. This is a tribute to my daughter, Melissa. And sending out to her across the realms. She was a sweet little English rose. All white 3-tiered sponge, modeling chocolate rose. You had a triumph yesterday, so I hope you're enjoying yourself. Oh, yeah, I was. Oh, this one she said, Paul, your instructions were brilliant. Have you got one of my books? Yeah, I think you're going to do really well. What else we got? Rosie and Jasmine, that was Mark's daughter's names. Spring, people are putting in the ovens, multitasking. White chocolate overload. But, yeah, Matt says, what they do is they have you make really sweet cakes, and then they tell you off. See, that's a little sweet. Yeah, because you told us make a cake of white chocolate. Put some mud in there. Mark's doing a baking show birthday, tempered chocolate shards, geometric shapes, pistachios, some kind of fruit liquor. It's Laura's favorite drink, something marula, fermented marula fruit. So I thought I'd put that in there. Laura's cakes are bumpy and uneven, so she's going to start again. So that's a little stressful. Then we get a sky shot, 3 hours remain. And Laura's like, yeah, my cakes are not right, so that's not good. And Noel says, I don't want you to go, Mark, with a C. Who should go? He's trying to get Mark to say. And Mark won't answer. Maybe Paul. Laura's trying to make more cakes. Critical point in the bake for others. Should I leave it in? Should I take it out? Is it done? Should I listen to it? Should I poke it with something? Because you want to make sure the white chocolate, I guess, has a different, look to it. So Peter likes listening. 2 minutes he listens. Linda listens. You got to see if they're bubbling. That's why you listen. Don't want a wet cake. Okay, some people are taking them out. Some people are happy. Some people are playing catch-up. Some people use, what's that stuff called? Parchment paper. Some don't. David, tell us about our cake. White chocolate Fraser cake. Oh, Fraser cake, they say. White chocolate cream mousseline, tempered white chocolate splashes, amaretto silk sponges. It's for Stacy's birthday. And he's going to make a splash for each of the bakers, which is he's doing on some sort of balloons. I don't know if they're water balloons or regular balloons. That's sweet. Noel says, like balloons and shot glasses. Then Noel says, yeah, then you'll go through the ranks. Get an outside shot halfway through. Matt says through halfway, through way half. Everyone's focused because you got to like cut your cakes to put stuff in the middle of them. Then Matt does this other imitation, kind of like a wild king, like wild. I don't know if it's like David Attenborough talking to a microphone or sports announcer or some sort of documentary. Okay, he says, don't worry, a couple more minutes. Laura's cakes are not done. Come back to you later. 25 degrees, not ideal for white chocolate. It's 5 degrees more than what they wanted. You get delicate, creamy fillings. So, okay. And people are assembling their cakes because they still have to chill them, right? And it's like, holy moly, I still got to chill my cake. They could melt in the tent or sink even. So Laura's glad she remade hers. She says panic averted, but it's hot in there. And 1 hour left. That's not too long. White chocolate and the sponges isn't bad enough. You still got to temper it. Put in your delicate decorative elements. Dave's like decorating his balloons. Peter's putting stuff on acetate for the collar. Linda's doing some sort of lacy thing. The acetate makes it easier to pick up and lift around the cake. Dave pops a balloon, loses one chocolate splash. Laura's working on her collar, but again, Sura can't get her chocolate's like melting. So it's too hot to do what she was going to do. So then she has to just frost her cake. 10 minutes left. They're doing Australian accents. Noel, Matt, and they could tell they're like entertaining each other too and having fun with it because they go back to it again. Linda's smoothing her cake. 9 minutes left. Matt's cracking Noel up. And say, okay, pick up the pace here. So everybody's starting their decorations, but not everybody's where they want it to be. And again, the different levels of like the heat is affecting everybody in a different way. Mark's making roses. So is Linda. Mark with a K is making some triangles. Laura's making ruffles. Now it's time to come out of the oven or the fridges or whatever. And Mark says, scary canary to Sura because hers almost fell off. I think he was trying to help her. And things are falling apart. Less is more, maybe. Less is not more, Lottie says. Have you seen mine? Sura's like, whatever, I'm done. Bakers, your time is up. Please step away from your bakes. Mark says, a lot of yours looks awesome. The other Mark tries to calm. Sura says, yours looks fine. So again, I like the kindness in competition. 9 cakes now face the judgment of Paul and Prue. Mark, a bake-off birthday. And they say, I love the way it looks. Original. Modern, I'd buy that. I like the nakedness. Drips are equal. White chocolate, pistachio, lemon, Genoese. And then the Marlula, lemon Italian meringue buttercream. Bruce says the flavors are there, but they're delicate. It needs more of a hero flavor, Paul says. Pistachio is not strong enough, but beautifully well-made cake. Just needs more oomph. Okay, more oomph. Then Lottie goes. Paul says, I love it. It's cool. Like what you've done with the sapphire. Imaginative, exciting, Prue says. Beautiful. Okay, 3 sponges, passion fruit curd, lime syrup, Flavor's good. Textures aren't there, though. Overbaked. Bone dry. Then they go to Sura. The work of the chocolate. Chocolate needs work. It's leaning. It's a bit all over the place. And they cut into it. Paul stares at it over, and then Prue says, huh. And then the bottom cake is like marzipan. Must have been weighed wrong or mixed wrong. Could have been that water chocolate. But it's not even edible, they say. Man, that's not nice. Dave's strawberry splash white chocolate. Looks wonderful. Color sponge worries Paul, though. Very dark. Let's have a look inside. Well, I don't think it's overbaked. Prue says. Paul says it tastes good. Strawberries work well. Thank you. I don't like the color of the sponge, but it's a decent cake. Okay. Linda's up next. They don't comment on the look. They go right to the eating. I like it buttery white chocolate with the zest. Oh, issue with the decoration. Piping is not good at any level, but a delicious cake. But Prue says, a little dense. Piping's not good. They go to Mark with a C. Great, neat-looking cake. Very pastel. Let's have a look, shall we? They take it off. Paul cuts it. Splits it. Bites it. A little dense sponge. Heavy. But I like the flavor and the raspberry through it. Prue says, I think you've done a good job. Tastes of white chocolate. Good. Well done. Thank you. Then Peter's up at collars. Smooth. Beautiful. Like the way it looks. He's got equations on it. Coconut cake. Mango cream. They take it and there's chocolate chunks in there. It's like toffee. Prue says, gluing my teeth together. Paul says, well baked, coconut flavor comes through, mango lightens it up. This is very neat. Well done, clever. Hermine's next. They say it's a bit messy at the bottom. Top is cute, though, but they don't seem to go together. Two different cakes. And they cut a piece of the top cake, and Prue takes a bite. She shakes. She says, delicious. And they say, Prue has hit a pleasure level for sure. Prue Pleasure Level. Everybody laughs at Matt making jokes about it. Lemon works beautifully with sponge. Citrus kick. Well done, Marine. Then they go to Laura. Windy outside, I notice, over Laura's shoulder. Heaven cake. Sometimes less is more. The ruffle on the top let it down. Okay. Peter goes, ooh, that looks good on the inside. Black currant's beautiful. White chocolate, I get. But there's I don't get it, but there's so much buttercream that I do get it there. Sponges are a little dried out, overbaked. Paul loves the black currant with the white chocolate. Put a lot of thought into it. Well done, Laura. But Laura's like disappointed because I really wanted to nail it. It could have been Star Baker. But I like when Paul said that a lot of thought had gone into it. So that meant a lot to me. Hermine's like, I had a Prue roar. So that felt good. She says she does an imitation of Prue and laughs. It's just funny. So it's like, this did not go good for me. This is like a bummer, big time. She puts her head down. Don't even know what to say for talking heads. We see a butterfly, and we see a flyover, and the table talk. Tough week. Who's going to be Star Baker? Matt says. Who? What do you think? Peter's consistent. Clever, neat color was good. Paul liked the mango. Mark L. His cake was beautiful. Consistently up there, Mark L. Third in the technical, well in the signature, did pretty good. So maybe one of those two, Paul says. Then who's in trouble? Sura, base center Showstopper being not cooked. Big mistake. Lottie didn't do good. Bottom in the technical. Didn't do fantastic in the signature. She did well in the Showstopper. Has she done enough? Or did Sura, not do good enough? And Noel says, between those two, I'll go. I'll leave the show. Don't take either one of them out. And then Bruce says, okay. And then he says, I thought I was your favorite. Matt says, don't worry, just because I'm new, the novelty of me will wear off. Then we have all the hand-holding, get a couple of shots of everybody, and hello, Bakers. Noel gets to do Star Baker. And so the Star Baker is Mark L. So he laughs. He kind of shrugs his shoulders, smiles, smashed it, well done. Matt has to announce who's going home. And as someone everyone's fond of, particularly, I was became a big fan. So Baker, who'll be leaving us this week, is, they pause the cameras, get everybody's faces. Sura, she says, I was expecting it. Lottie sad too. Amazing. They hugs. A lot of, tears. She says, yeah, I'm not going to be upset about it, but really had a great time. Prue says, sorry. She says, yeah, that's okay. She pats Prue's back. Sir says, I'll never have white chocolate again, or chocolate ever. Paul's sad to see Sura go. He says, that was a weak spot, I guess, the chocolate. And that's what saved Lottie. So Paul says, Lottie, you better step it up. She says, yeah, I'll try my best. And Lottie says, I'm also sad to lose Sura. I'm happy for Mark because he's such a nice guy. So that cheers me up. And they say, well done, mate. How you doing? You're hiding it well. And then he laughs by himself. I can't believe it. He's crying and laughing. Consistency pays off, I guess. Thank you. And he says, I'm delighted. We're going to, down to 7 bakers. I can't believe it. 7 or 8. Oh, 8. Whoops. 8 bakers. He laughs again. And yeah, the episode comes to a close. Let me just look up Genoese sponges again, because I know I've looked it up before and then I always forget what they are. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's important for me to, at least one day, maybe I'll remember what it is. Genoise, sponge. For all the listening that the computers do to me, I don't actually listen when I need them to. Guess over on Wikipedia. Genoese cake or Genovese cake is a French sponge cake named after Genoa, associated with French cuisine. Francois Masselat in the 17th century. Instead of chemical leavening, air is suspended in the batter to produce volume during mixing. This is different than Genoa bread, which is made from almond paste, but it's similar to pan de España, Spanish bread. It's a whole egg cake, unlike some sponge cakes, which yolks and whites are beaten separately. The eggs and sometimes extra yolks are beaten with sugar and heated at the same time using a bain-marie or something. That's a ribbon stage. It's a fairly lean cake because most of the fat comes from egg yolks. But some recipes add in melted butter before baking, or in this case, white chocolate, I guess. It's a basic building block of French pâtissier. And several different types of cake. Usually it forms a thin sheet work briskly. This is 1884 cookbook. Work briskly in a basin, half a pound of flour, half a pound of sugar, 4 eggs. After 4 minutes of good stirring, add a quarter pound of melted butter. Butter a baking sheet, spread the cake based upon it, and then bake until it turns a golden yellow. When finished baking, the sheet is rolled to still warm to make jelly rolls, or cut and stacked into layers, or lined in a mold to be frozen. A variety of fillings can be used. It's notable for its elastic and somewhat dry texture, sometimes soaked with flavors or syrups, often served with buttercream frosting. Tiramisu may be made with ladyfingers or a Genoese sheet. So that's a Genoese. Let me look up acetate. AC. Acetate disc, acetate. Something. You know, if I can put it for baking or something. Acetate bake. No, let's just look up acetate then. Oh, whoopsie. It's a disc. It's a salt formed by acetic acid and base. It's got polymers and it's in biology, structures, nomenclature. It's got esters, but it doesn't really tell us much about using it in baking. So it turns out it's something. Anyway, thanks so much for listening. And don't worry, bakers. We'll be back with another episode soon of Bake Off. And there's plenty more in the feed. Good night, everybody. Hey, everybody. This is Scoots. Before we get to the rest of the podcast here, I wanted to ask you a question. Like, do you have a favorite episode of the show? A favorite character? A favorite style of the show? Like, can you name characters in the show? It's not important if you can't. That's another sign you might be a super listener of the podcast. You're a super listener. That's pretty cool because you're an exclusive group out of like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people. There's only about 20,000 super listeners. And the thing is, over the next few months, we need 1,500. We need you and about 1,500 super listeners to support the show back so we can keep making this podcast and be here. Because this is a time when more than ever, more and more people need the show. Paradoxically, that's when it gets most difficult to keep the show going. Like the show, it's like you got to choose or think about, do you want your sleep podcast to just get by? Is that the goal of Sleep With Me? My goal is not for you to just get by, for your life to be tolerable. My job's to bring you comfort so your life can be better tomorrow, that you can be out there flourishing. But even if it's more manageable, think about if you had the same thing for your sleep podcast, if you're a super listener. But you could be the reason the show's here next year, the year after that, the year after that. We can head into this unknown together, right? Supporting other people that are super listeners like you and those other people going through stuff. And we could keep making whatever brought you here, whatever puts a smile on your face or helps you drift off. And you could do that, but don't wait, because if you're hearing me and listening, you're the one person I'm talking to. I've been doing this long enough that it's really like I have to get one person at a time. So you're the one person right now. I need you. Can you do it? Just sign up at sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus.